Lisa Tarr, pediatric physical therapist and CEO and founder of First Steps Pediatric Therapy, and I am here today to talk to you about our kiddos who are a seeker and an avoider. So the previous videos we talked a little bit about what a seeker is and what an avoider is, and so actually most likely your child is both, and that's why it is actually so frustrating for you guys as parents, and we definitely want to help. So just to kind of give you like a little bit of a baseline, the sensory regulation in sensory just in general has a very fluctuating threshold. So we go up and down and we regulate our emotions. We have, physical feeling, like, just think about we're hungry and we're tired and we're rested, or, we're in the right mental mindset to do something. The same thing happens for our kids. And so the main reason why we have difficulty with challenge is that your child is having difficulty regulating all of those pieces. So they might be, for example, if they're an avoider or they have tactile defensiveness, they might be thinking about their shoes are fitting too tight, or their socks are, the seams on the toes are funky, where then they're also trying to be in school and paying attention to the teacher teaching them some new topics, or the kid that's next to them dribbling their pencil, that they can't concentrate on the teacher, for example. So we're all trying to manage a lot of our sensory input. And so most of the time that the children that we provide services for are seekers and avoiders, and they have kind of a mixed piece. And so you can have a child that can be overstimulated, and they can be understimulated, and they can at very different times. So one activity could be the same way at the same time, and you're getting one reaction where they're ramping up and they're getting more and more energy, and then the same time, then the same activity with the same people can actually cause or trigger a reaction for being understimulated or trying to avoid or flee the situation. And so this is when we get different triggers at different situations, and it's inconsistent. And then also, just as a reminder, when your kids are tired or stressed or not feeling well or didn't sleep well, those all impact how we regulate our body and our emotions. And then really the avoiders and the seekers, that's a way that we are trying to constantly regulate our own body to keep up with the current activities. So for example, if you have a kid that likes to wiggle around a lot, but it looks like they're paying attention, that would be one of the reasons why that would be probably a seeker, because they're trying to seek movement and feedback, for example. Okay, so just as a recap, what a sensory seeker is a kid that actually craves movement and touch, activity. They like to run, jump, push, shove, crash into things. They are not scared of noisy environments. They like rough and tumble play. The sensory avoiders are the ones that actually do like a lot of noise. They don't like bright lights. They like a very predictable, controlled environment. And so one of the activities you can do for a sensory seeker that likes to move a lot is that if you have to do something that's long and boring and intense, for example, like family pictures can be like that, and we all want great pictures, is that we say, okay, we're gonna do these pictures, and then we give them a motor break and let them kind of burn off their energy so then they can sit and focus. For the kids that are the sensory avoiders or don't like a lot of change, is we create predictability schedules. We might prompt them on what's going to happen, and so we let them know that X is going to happen, a certain activity is going to happen, but then we also let them know what it's going to look like when we're done. Activities that when you have a sensory avoider, you introduce those activities slowly. So if there's certain things like you have to do, like nail trimming or bath or washing your hair, brushing your teeth, those things, you might start with, letting them try to brush their teeth, maybe even one of those baby finger brushes, letting them do it. Different things that you can slowly introduce certain activities into them to conduct. Some other ways to help with our sensory avoiders, another activity you can do specifically is to introduce, for example, just other regulating activities, provide rewards afterward, creating maybe like that visual schedule if they are at the younger age where you can't say, okay, first you're gonna go to school and you're gonna complete all your homework, and then after that we're gonna go to practice, and then we're going to, go out to dinner with your grandparents, for example. If you have a kid like that who is verbal and understands, that's one great thing, and you set up the system. However, if you have a child that's either nonverbal or they're too young to understand, demonstrating that kind of schedule in a picture could be really helpful, just to give them that ability to plan and know what's next, because then hopefully you'll have less meltdowns. Okay, and then how you're gonna help with both the sensory seeker and the avoider is basically you're going to try to work on balancing that sensory input of providing enough of those activities that keep them stimulated and engaged. For example, like chewing gum when they're in a long, boring meeting might be a great strategy, specifically if you yourself are a sensory seeker. And then also providing choices. Like, we all like to have choice in what we like to do. So providing choices to our kids is also a really great opportunity to allow them to be involved in their care. Would you like this toothpaste, or this toothpaste? Would you like bubblegum, or would you like watermelon? For example, would be a great option, instead of saying, or do you want me to brush your teeth, or do you want to brush your teeth? And so giving those different options to help them feel like they have a little control would be great. And then just letting them teach just self-awareness. Hey, I know that this is really hard, and just acknowledge that, mommy or daddy knows that these are difficult, but we need to do this. So just also giving them a little bit of time, and as well as not forcing them to do anything, is always a really great strategy as well.
And you can definitely contact us at 720-900-7432, or you can check us out on our website. That's firststepspediatric.com.